The alien forest was silent. Tall blue trees stretched high into the sky. Strange birds made soft clicking sounds in the distance. Jack, a human explorer, walked carefully through the thick bushes, holding his scanner in one hand and his knife in the other. He was on planet Varel, searching for rare minerals. But today, something felt different. He stopped. There was no wind. No sound. The forest had gone still. Then he heard it. A scream. High-pitched. Full of fear. Help! Jack turned fast. That wasn't an animal. That was a child. Another scream followed. Human, please help my mom. She's stuck. She's bleeding. Jack's heart began to race. He ran toward the voice, pushing branches out of his way. Something deep inside told him this wasn't a trap. This was real. He burst through the thick leaves and froze. There stood a small alien child. Her skin was light purple. Her hair was tangled and full of dirt. Her eyes were wide with tears. She wore no shoes, and her thin clothes were torn. She looked up at Jack with shaking hands. Please. My mother. She's dying. Jack didn't speak. For a second, the child looked so young, maybe 5 or 6. And yet, she was alone in this wild place? He finally asked, Where is she? The child grabbed his hand. Come, she's close. The monster will come back if we wait. Jack's instincts screamed at him to be careful, but he followed her. He couldn't leave a child alone like this. Not here, not on this dangerous world. They moved fast, running through thick grass and around strange glowing rocks. The forest was quiet again, but not in a good way. Jack knew the signs of a hunter nearby. Something was watching them. The child suddenly stopped and pointed ahead. There. She's in the trap. Jack stepped into a small clearing, and his breath caught. There, in the center, was a tall alien woman. She was caught in a cruel metal snare. Her leg was bent at a strange angle. Blood ran down her thigh. Her face was pale, and her eyes were closed. She's still breathing, the child whispered, falling to her knees beside her mother. But she's weak. Please, save her. Jack slowly walked forward. The trap was ancient, made of rusted metal and jagged teeth. It wasn't just meant to catch. It was meant to kill. He crouched beside the mother, carefully checking her pulse. She's alive, he said quietly. But this trap is deep. I need to break it open. Jack pulled a small tool from his belt and tried to cut the metal. But the edges were too thick. It wouldn't budge. Come on. He muttered, sweating. The child looked around, scared. Hurry. The monster, the one who made the trap, he hunts here. He eats what he catches. Jack's eyes narrowed. This wasn't a simple accident. Someone had placed this snare on purpose. And now, the trapper might return. He worked faster. I need something stronger, he said. Maybe I can. Suddenly, the mother's eyes opened slightly. She groaned in pain. When she saw Jack, she panicked. Her hand reached for a broken stick beside her. Don't hurt my daughter. Jack held up his hands. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm helping. The child leaned over her mother. Mom, it's okay. He's kind. He came to help. The mother stared at Jack, confused and afraid. Then her eyes closed again. She was too weak to fight. Jack finally found a way to open the snare using his belt torch. With sparks and smoke, the metal teeth slowly pulled apart. The trap opened with a loud snap. The mother screamed once as the pressure left her leg. Jack lifted her gently. I've got you. But just as he stood up, the trees around them rustled. The child gasped. He's coming. Jack looked around. Who? The trap maker, she whispered. He smells blood. Something growled from the shadows. Jack's grip tightened on the mother. Run, he said to the child. Stay behind me. From between the trees, a huge shape appeared. Yellow eyes, sharp teeth, long claws. A savage alien beast. It was tall and thin, but fast, its mouth dripping with hunger. It had come for the bait. Jack stepped back slowly, holding the mother in his arms. "You want her?" he growled. "You'll have to go through me." The beast growled back. The child clung to Jack's leg, shaking. The forest was no longer silent. The beast growled louder. Its eyes glowed yellow in the dark forest. Its claws scraped the ground. It moved slow, like it was playing with them. Jack didn't blink. He held the alien mother tight in his arms. Her body was cold, her face pale. The child clung to his leg, whispering, "Don't let him take her." Jack took a step back, then another, but the beast didn't follow right away. Instead, it bent down and sniffed the bloody trap. It licked the metal like it remembered the pain it caused. Then it looked up and smiled. Jack knew that look. This wasn't just a hunter. It was something worse. It enjoyed the chase. "Move," Jack whispered to the child. Now they ran. Branches hit Jack's face as he pushed through the brush, holding the mother as gently as he could. The child followed, feet slapping the ground, tears still in her eyes. Behind them, the beast roared. Jack didn't stop. He dodged roots, leapt over fallen logs, and raced through the trees until his lungs burned. But he didn't care. He just had to get them out. Get them away from that thing. Then he saw it, a narrow cave in the side of a mossy hill, just big enough for the three of them. "In there," he said. They squeezed inside. Jack pulled vines over the entrance. The space was tight and dark, but it was better than nothing. They held their breath. Outside, they heard the beast stomp by, closer. Closer, then silence. The child started to cry again, but Jack gently covered her mouth. "Shh, he's listening." They stayed frozen for what felt like hours. Finally, the beast's heavy steps faded into the distance. Jack exhaled. "He's gone, for now." He set the mother down carefully. Her leg was still bleeding. He pulled out a med kit from his belt pouch and cleaned the wound. "This is deep," he muttered. The trap ripped through muscle. The child watched, wide-eyed. "Can you save her? I can try." He wrapped her leg tightly with bandages, then injected a small dose of human painkiller. The mother flinched, but didn't wake. "What's your name?" Jack asked softly. The child looked at him. "Laurie." "Okay, Laurie, I'm Jack, and I promise I won't leave you." She nodded, trying to be brave, but she was shaking. Jack looked at her again. She was so small, so alone. "Where's your tribe?" "Your people?" Laurie looked down. "Gone. The monster came before, took many. My mom and I ran." Jack's face hardened. This wasn't just some wild animal. It had been doing this for a while. Setting traps. Hunting smart. "This is more than survival," he said. "It's a game to him," Laurie whispered. "He watches us, even now." Jack looked toward the dark cave entrance. Something inside him stirred anger, fear, and something deeper. Protect. That one word rang in his heart. He looked at the weak alien mother and the child who refused to leave her side. He wasn't just a miner anymore. He was their shield now. He sat back against the wall of the cave, holding his weapon close. "We'll rest for a few hours," he told Laurie. "Then we move. I'm taking you both to my camp. Is it safe?" She asked. "As long as I'm with you, yes." But outside the cave in the darkness, the beast had not left. It stood still, nose in the air, waiting. It had new prey now, and it liked the taste of human courage. Jack opened his eyes. He hadn't meant to fall asleep, but exhaustion had taken over. Now he sat in the darkness of the small cave, his back against the wall, pulse quickening. Something felt wrong, too quiet. He glanced to his side. The alien child, Laurie, was curled up beside her mother, sleeping with her little arms wrapped around the wounded woman's waist. The mother breathed slow and weak, but she was still alive. Jack listened. No birds. No forest sounds at all. He reached for his weapon slowly. His fingers gripped the handle, cold with sweat. Then he heard it, a sound like breathing. Not theirs. Outside the cave. Close. Low. Slow. Watching. Jack froze. He leaned closer to the cave entrance, careful not to make a sound. There, he saw something through the vines. Two glowing eyes. Yellow, not blinking. They were staring straight into the cave. Jack held his breath. The beast hadn't gone far. It hadn't lost them. It had been waiting. Hunting. Patient. And now it had found them again. Quietly pulled the vines tighter, covering the cave entrance. He turned back and whispered to Laurie, "Wake up." Slowly, the child stirred. She blinked, then sat up fast. "Is it back?" Jack nodded. "Don't move. Don't make a sound." She crawled to her mother and held her close, trembling. "What do we do?" Jack looked around the cave. It was small, no back exit. Just walls, rocks, and darkness. Not much we can do if it gets in. He muttered. The beast's claws scraped the ground outside. It wasn't attacking. Yet it was playing. Jack understood now. This creature wasn't like the animals on Earth. It had intelligence. It enjoyed fear. It liked to watch. He pulled out a flare from his belt pouch. "Just one left. If it comes in," he said quietly, "I'll blind it. Then you run. Grab your mom and run." Laurie looked terrified. "I don't want to leave you. You'll have to." Suddenly, the eyes vanished. Jack leaned forward again. Nothing. Then thump. The sound came from the top of the cave. It was climbing. "Stay down," Jack whispered. Dust fell from the ceiling as the beast moved above them. It was testing the stone, sniffing for weakness. Jack could almost feel it thinking. Then, a loud crack. The ceiling shook. The child screamed. Jack grabbed them both and pulled them back. A huge claw broke through the roof of the cave. Dirt fell everywhere. The beast roared in anger. It couldn't get in yet, but it would keep trying. Jack lit the flare. Whoosh! Red light filled the cave. The beast screamed and backed away, hissing as the flare burned bright. Jack threw it toward the hole. The creature vanished into the forest. For now, Laurie was crying, her body shaking. Her mother stirred, eyes fluttering open for a second, then closed again. Jack looked at the ruined ceiling. "It's not over," he said. "It's only waiting." He knew now they couldn't stay here. "Not even one more hour. We move now," he told Laurie. "Your mother needs help." "I'll carry her." The child wiped her tears and stood. "I'll help you," Jack smiled weakly. "You're braver than most soldiers I know." They stepped out of the cave. The sky above was turning pale blue, the first sign of morning. But Jack felt no peace. He knew the beast would follow. It liked fear. It liked pain. But more than that, it liked Jack. It had chosen him as a challenge, and it wouldn't stop until one of them was dead. Asterisk, the forest was still wet with morning. Fog. Jack's boots crushed the soft earth as he ran, carrying the alien mother across his back. Her body was cold, wrapped in torn cloth. Laurie ran beside him, her small feet struggling to keep up. Behind them, silence. But Jack didn't trust it. Silence meant it was near. The beast. The hunter, and it wasn't done playing. Jack whispered, "Keep moving, Laurie, no matter what. Don't stop." "I'm scared," she said, breathless. "Will it catch us?" Jack looked at her with fire in his eyes. "Not if I stop it first." They reached an open clearing, a wide space with fallen logs, pools of water, and broken ruins from a forgotten alien time. Jack stopped. He gently laid the mother down beside a stone wall and looked around. This place, it could work. He turned to Laurie. "Stay with her. Hide behind those stones. No matter what you hear, don't come out. What are you going to do?" Laurie asked, her voice small. Jack pulled out his last grenade, checked his rifle, and took a deep breath. "I'm going to finish this." He walked to the center of the clearing and waited. The fog swirled. Then branches snapped. Jack's heart pounded. He raised his weapon. From the trees, the beast stepped out. Slow, confident, smiling. Its mouth dripped with hunger. Its claws gleamed. Its skin looked like rough metal, with deep scars across its chest, proof of many kills. It wasn't just a hunter. It was a killer who had never lost. Until now, Jack stared it down. "Come on, you ugly freak. You want to fight?" The beast roared and charged. Jack opened fire. Bullets slammed into the creature's chest. It stumbled but didn't fall. It leapt through the smoke and slammed into Jack, knocking him to the ground. Pain exploded in Jack's shoulder as claws ripped his jacket. But Jack didn't let go of the grenade. He kicked the beast in the jaw, rolled, and threw the grenade into its side. Boom! The explosion lit the clearing. The beast screamed, thrown into a tree, bark shattered. Blood splattered the leaves. Jack crawled to his feet, breathing hard. "Not so tough now, are you?" But the beast wasn't dead. It stood slowly, one arm broken, face burned, but its eyes still wild. It lunged again. Jack dropped his empty rifle and grabbed a sharp metal pole from the ground, part of an old ruin. They clashed. Man versus monster, steel versus claws. They crashed through the clearing. Like two wild storms, Jack stabbed. The beast bit. Blood flew. It was raw, brutal. No rules. Lar I watched from the stones, tears streaming down her face. "Please, don't die." The beast pinned Jack to the ground, claws to his throat. Then Jack reached for the broken rifle. Click. Nothing. They beast smiled. Jack gritted his teeth. "Wrong move, freak." With all his strength, he rammed the metal pole up into the beast's neck, straight through. The creature froze. Its yellow eyes widened. Then it fell. Dead. Rolled it off and lay still, breathing like fire. He looked up at the sky, bleeding, shaking, but alive. He had won. He had fought and lived. Laurie ran to him. "You did it. You saved us." Jack smiled, weak but proud. "I told you, I don't leave people behind." Behind them, the mother opened her eyes, and for the first time in days, she smiled. Jack's hands were shaking, not from fear, not from pain, but from the weight of what had just happened. The beast was dead. Its body lay twisted in the dirt, blood soaking the mossy ground. But Jack didn't care about the victory. He looked past it. To the stone wall. To the child holding her mother's hand. "Laurie," he said, limping toward her. "How is she?" The child looked up. Her face was pale. "She's not waking up again." Jack dropped to his knees beside them. The alien mother's skin had gone colder. Her leg wound was leaking blood again. Her breaths were shallow, slow, and weak, like a candle about to go out. He checked her pulse. It was barely there. She was dying. And fast. No. Jack whispered. "You didn't survive all this just to die now." He reached into his pack, almost empty now, and pulled out the last stim injection. A human med shot. It wasn't made for aliens. But it was the only chance. He looked at Laurie. "This might hurt her, but if I don't do it, she won't make it." Child nodded slowly. "Do it." Jack pressed the injector to the mother's neck and pulled the trigger. Hissed. A soft click. The serum entered her bloodstream. For a moment, nothing. Then her body jerked, her fingers twitched, and suddenly her eyes opened. She gasped for air. Laurie shouted with joy, hugging her tightly. "Mom, you're back." Jack smiled, but he could see the truth. She was alive, but not safe. Not yet. The stim would only last a few hours. After that, her body would begin to shut down again unless she got real treatment. Jack stood and looked at the distant hills. "My camp is 5 miles east. If we keep moving, we can reach it before sunset." "But her leg," Laurie said. "She can't walk." "She won't have to," Jack said. "I'll carry her." Again, Even though his shoulder was bleeding, his ribs were sore, and his arms felt like stone, he picked her up. The mother looked at him, weak but aware now. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. Jack didn't stop walking. "Because your daughter cried for help, and I was the only one who listened." The forest ahead was thick, darker now. Vultures circled the skies above, drawn to the beast's corpse. Strange shapes moved between the trees. Jack kept his knife ready. The danger wasn't over, but he didn't care. He had something to protect now. Laurie walked beside him, holding her mom's hand the whole way. "I thought humans were cold," she said softly. "That they didn't care about aliens." Jack chuckled. "Most don't, but I'm not most." They crossed a small river. The mother coughed weakly, whispering in her language. Laurie translated. "She says thank you. She says no one has ever saved her before." Jack kept moving. "Then I guess it's about time someone did." Hours passed. The sun began to lower. And finally through the trees Jack saw it. His camp. A tall metal wall. A satellite dish. Spinning above. Human flags waving. They were almost safe. But just as they reached the final hill, Jack's knees buckled. He fell, the mother sliding from his back into the grass. Laurie screamed, "Jack!" He was too tired to speak. His vision swam, but he looked up and smiled. "I got you here," he said. "Now someone else can help." And then he passed out. Asterisk. The walls of the human camp buzzed with energy. Guards rushed out with weapons, ready as the emergency alarm rang. The sensors had picked up a wounded man dragging himself through the forest with a dying alien in his arms, and a small alien child holding onto him like her life depended on it. Jack collapsed just meters from the gate. Blood covered his shirt. His eyes were barely open. He had walked miles with wounds that should have killed him, but he hadn't let go. Not of the woman, not of the child. "Medic!" A soldier shouted. They pulled the mother onto a stretcher and rushed her inside. The girl screamed, "Wait, I'm coming too." One of the soldiers tried to stop her, but Jack's hand shot out and grabbed the man's wrist with surprising strength. "She stays with her." Jack growled, voice like gravel. "She's not just some alien, she's his daughter." The soldiers looked at each other, confused. "His?" one asked. "You mean yours?" Jack didn't answer. He passed out again, inside the camp medical bay. Time moved slowly. Machines beeped. The alien mother lay in a clean bed, surrounded by soft lights and warm blankets. Her leg was wrapped in healing. The stim injection had saved her just in time. Laurie sat by her side, holding her hand tightly. "Don't leave me again, Mom," she whispered. From the other bed, Jack groaned and opened his eyes. "Where am I?" A nurse leaned over. "You're safe, sir. You're in Sector Base 17. You've been unconscious for almost 12 hours. Jack sat up slowly. His head spun. His ribs burned. But he didn't ask about himself. He looked across the room. "The girl? Her mother? They're alive," the nurse said. "Barely, but they're stable." Jack let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. The door opened, and a commander walked in. Colonel Reyes. Gray hair. Sharp eyes. "No nonsense." She looked at Jack. "You want to tell me what in hell happened out there?" Jack sighed. "It's a long story. I've got time." Jack told her everything. The child, the trap, the beast, the fight, the walk through the forest, the wounds, the blood, the pain, and then the truth. He lowered his voice. "Laurie said her father was human, that he left them. I didn't believe it at first, but—" Reyes frowned. "But what?" Jack looked down. "I saw a picture. Inside her mother's old bag. Water damaged, faded, but it was clear." He pulled it from his pocket. Reyes stared. It was a young soldier, human, holding hands with the same alien woman years ago, and the soldier was Jack. Reyes blinked. "Is that you?" Jack nodded slowly. I served on this planet years ago. During the peace mission, I had no idea she got pregnant. I was sent home before I ever knew. Reyes didn't speak for a long time. Then finally she said, "Well, soldier, looks like you've got a daughter." Jack looked across the room. Laurie was sitting on the bed, hugging her sleeping mother. Humming softly. She looked small, but not weak. She looked like someone who had survived hell because of him and now. She was part of him. He stood up, ignoring the pain. He walked to her bed. Laurie looked up at him with wide eyes. "Jack." He knelt beside her and for the first time, he said it out loud. "I'm not going to leave again, I promise." The girl looked at him, then slowly reached out and took his hand, not with fear, but with trust. Rain was falling gently outside the camp. It wasn't loud, it wasn't violent. It was soft. Healing, like the world itself was finally taking a breath. Inside the camp's warm shelter, Jack sat beside a window, watching the water run down the glass. His arm was bandaged. His ribs hurt with every breath. But none of that mattered now. Behind him, the door opened. Little footsteps. Laurie walked in, holding something wrapped in cloth. A gift. She stood in front of him and said, "I made this for you." Jack turned. She unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a necklace made of simple alien shells and a string of wire from the broken snare trap. "It's from the place where you saved my mom," she whispered. Jack smiled. It wasn't just a necklace. It was a memory, a promise, a mark of survival. He put it around his neck. "It's perfect," he said. "Just like you," Laurie smiled, but then her face turned serious. "Are you going to leave again?" Jack paused. Then slowly knelt in front of her. "No, never again," Laurie blinked. "But what about your home, your people?" He looked into her eyes. "You are my people now." The door opened again. Her mother entered, still weak, using a cane, but standing tall. Her eyes met Jack's, and for a moment, there were no words, just understanding. Pain, history, forgiveness. And something more. Jack stood. She spoke softly. "You could have walked away. But you didn't." He answered, "Because I heard her cry, and I knew I had to answer." Colonel Reyes entered next, carrying a datapad. She looked at the three of them, man, child, and alien mother, and said, "Headquarters wants to send the girl to a refugee center." "No," Jack said firmly, standing straighter. "She stays with me." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "You sure? She's my daughter." Reyes smiled faintly. "Then you'd better make it official." She handed him a document. Adoption papers. Jack didn't even blink. He signed them. With one stroke, he didn't just become a father. He became her hero. 1 week later, the forest outside the camp was alive again. Birds returned. Sunlight poured through the trees. The trap had been destroyed. The beast was gone, but its memory remained etched into the scar on Jack's shoulder. And the courage in Laurie's heart. She was no longer just an alien child. She was the daughter of the man who had fought monsters for her. As they walked through the trees together, hand in hand, Jack looked down and asked, "You ready to go?" "Home." Laurie looked up at him. "I already am." Human, help my mom. My alien mother is trapped in a savage hunting snare.